Okay, so in today's session, they told me that they could answer a question for me. Now, I don't know what the question is, but I've clearly asked it over the last few days, so I figured I would just let them stream through. Today, we are wanting to just allow things to be gentle and allowing for us to just stream through. We wanted to speak to you on manifestation and laying down pipelines. Every action that you take causes a chain reaction. This is the same with any magic you do. It lays down pipelines. Any affirmations you do, they lay down pipelines. Any subconscious reprogramming you do, it all lays down pipelines. And those pipelines, they don't always get built all the way to the finish. They get built by you, and a lot of people will drop them when they are building them, thinking that nothing is happening. But the thing that humans can't see is that there's a very big gap sometimes between you and what you're creating. There are a lot more factors at work than you might realize initially. This is when we are doing our magic. We are taking your pipes where you've put them, and we are rerouting them somewhere different. But maybe instead of it just being one pipe like you think, it's actually so many different pipes, and because of how you laid them, we can only move them so many different ways. And when you're dealing with really strong limiting beliefs, we may have to take ways that save you at the 11th hour. Because you are laying down pipes and then picking them back up and then moving them, and then there are so many different factors that might mean that we cannot get you what you asked for in a straight line. But this doesn't mean that we're not bringing you what you've asked for. You can see, based on the question that you asked, why isn't what I'm asking for coming in? Why can't it be easier? I know this can be easier. The answer to how it can be easier actually lays with you. The pipes that you lay down, how you move them when you're doubting yourself, how you clog what we've built vibrationally, accidentally, without knowing. This isn't an accident, like it's not a mistake or anything you're doing wrong purposefully. It's part of the learning process, but you need to be aware of it. You need to be aware that your thought process, where your limits are, what resources are available to you in your vibrational world, we don't have infinite ability to rearrange that, because what you can receive is within point A to point B, and what you might be asking for might be like point F. And so we are going to try to build you a bridge between point A and point F that can be received through point B. And then every day when you're not getting what you need, you might be rerouting these pipes. And then we have to start from ground one or change things. And this is all happening in the unseen world where you aren't aware of it. So we are not asking you to have patience with us. We are asking you to have patience with yourself. We are asking you to understand that when we send the signs to you, you can choose whether or not you accept them. But in your case, in this channel's case, she knows that we are going to come through, because we do every single time. It has been repeat instances, and we are not blaming. We are just trying to showcase a pattern where, when you have lived with such great instability your entire life and you always rely on yourself, it can be really difficult to trust that other things and other people are going to show up for you. But especially with people like us, beings like us, we don't have that problem. We will always show up. That is what we do. We will show up. We will do everything we can. There are times when we can't do things, and this is something that this channel grew up hearing. When God answers a prayer, it's either yes, no, or wait. The thing is, it's often just yes or wait. Or it's often yes, consider a different form, we can do better, or wait. We will do everything. We will do everything that we can to get you where you need to go. There are life lessons that can get in the way, or certain things we can't move by. What if your normal range is A to D and something vibrationally slaps you back to B? And we can only work from A to B now because there's a life event in the way, something that is making it more difficult, and that's okay. We will work longer. We might take more time to get you what you need. We might have to get you everything at the last minute. We might have to make you think that you're not going to receive. And what we are trying to say is every single time it comes through. So let go of the timelines you have around it. Let go of the way you believe it has to come through. Let go of only looking at what you see in the world in front of you as being the only evidence, especially as a channel, especially as someone who works with divine beings. This is something that many people who listen to this audio will see as well. You can be someone who is so deeply trusting and then fall into a deep trigger and regress. But that doesn't mean we have. That doesn't mean we have changed. It does not mean we will not come through for you. We never change. We never wobble. We never waver. Humans will always wobble. There's no way around it. You can get really good at controlling your wobble, but the wobble is an inherent part of the process. You need to know what you don't want in order to know what you do, and all of that kind of stuff. It is inherent that you go through these lessons to wobble. So you need to know that you're going to wobble. You need to know that you're going to fall off the wagon as you speak. You need to know that you'll question all the things you've learned, all the lessons you've learned, just because this one thing is glaring you in the face. And it's making you afraid. It's putting your body back into a trigger, mucking up your vibration. You need to learn that you will always get through it. And you need to learn that we don't wobble. And so our job on this side of the coin, so to speak, is to simply guide you and tell you, hey, this is how we're getting it to you. Instead of asking if we're getting it to you, take it as this is how we're getting it to you. Because when we deliver this, we will find a way. This channel works with her psychic ability quite deeply, doing readings, and has for quite some time. She's saying 18 years, but quite some time. It has been that time. And she looks at timelines. And so this channel is well aware that there is never just one way something can arrive to you. Because people will struggle with avoidance, they will struggle with not making a decision they need to, they will need multiple chances, they will need to work at something. There are so many more choices available to you than probably any of you realize. But we know all of that. We can see all of it. It's not overwhelming to us. We know exactly how it works. It's how our consciousness works. We know how to bend that. And so it's not if we're getting it to you, it's when. And so if we are in communication with you on what you can do to solidify that, which is often the information this channel brings through. Somebody might ask her, hey, when is so-and-so going to text me? And she might respond with, do the following things. Also, the most likely time is such time. And people will often look at her and go, why? And she will respond, there's a few different potentialities here. And she will respond, this is the most likely. This person might be, having a tendency to avoid, but a psychic can't control what timelines a person chooses, especially if they're avoidant and they hop, skip, and jump over the things that they might be most likely to take or even that are best for them. And this is why we are saying sometimes it can take us time to nail you down. Sometimes it can take us time to convince you to go into the timeline that would be best for you. Sometimes it can just take us time to work through all your doubt and what you vibrationally can hold and improve this so it can land in your life. But it's never if, and it is always when. It is always when. Of course, the only time you will not see this is in the case that there's something better than what you've asked for. We will get you the strongest, most aligned thing. Like this channel today was just discussing needing to pay some bills at the end of the month and was wondering how they were going to do that, and everything came in sporadically in different ways than she expected. And instead of worrying, she knew that we were going to come through, and she knew this, and she was just waiting for the how. And when we showed her the how, she went, oh, I didn't think it would come through like that. But it did. And that's the important part, is that it did. And we told her it would. We always tell her that we would. Because it is not an if, it's a we're going to get you as close as possible. We're going to do the best we can. It is never, we will not do it. It is never, we will not show up. What people don't understand about ascended masters and, you know, how everything works in the spiritual world is we don't say no. We say, we'll do the best we can. We might say, this isn't aligned for you. Here's what is. And we might say, wait, and provide you information about how you can align yourself during that waiting period. And so this is why when you hear a lot of information from someone who channels in a reading, they might tell you, go take a walk. They might tell you, try wearing the following colors, or things that you don't think have any relevance, but they actually do. These things are vibrational anchors. And every week, this channel does Magical Mondays and talks about those anchors because they're different. And it depends on what you're trying to anchor to. And so if you ever want to know how to get something in a way that you wouldn't expect, ask your spirit guides for anchors. You might see a color or something being like shoved down your throat that you don't expect, maybe the same song over and over, or you just have a desire to go to a certain city. Those are all anchors. There's something vibrational there for you that can help you secure your outcome. There's so much that is so much more woo, as you might say it, than you realize. But we wanted to express it is never a, we aren't doing it. It is always a, let's get you aligned to get you as close as possible or exceed it. But you have to trust that when we are doing the work with you and for you, we might not be able to take the most direct method. And a lot of that is because of the doubt that you might carry, or the fear you might carry, or what's available to you in life, or even your boundaries around what you will and will not accept. We have to bend this channel often because she's chronically ill. And so we have to bring her work that works around her. And so that can look very different sometimes. That can look like a bunch of sessions in a day and then crickets and then bam, and we still meet the financial goals. We do everything we can to work with the body's natural boundaries. And this can be stressful, of course, but we always land. We will always find a way. And so when you're in that constant communication with us, and if you haven't watched the video that our channel posted the other day on building a language with the universe, and we would suggest doing so, because this is an excellent way to know what we're working on. Because sometimes you can't hear us or can't channel us, or however you might get information from us, and sometimes you might just not even be paying attention. But the thing is, we are always talking to you. There's never a time where we are not talking to you. There's never a time where we are not trying to guide you, trying to love you, trying to hold you through something. You might not be able to hear us, but if you create that language of symbols, then you're more likely to recognize us when we are there, when we are doing that lifting for you, when we are doing that work for you. And you can create trust with us in that way. And so this is why we always talk about recognizing your wins. But when you become very comfortable working with ascended masters, archangelic beings like us, you will know we are always trying to get you where you need to go. It benefits us that you get where you need to go. And it's not just because it's beneficial, it's because we have a version of unconditional love that you humans just do not have. And so, God forbid, we actually want you to succeed and care about how you feel. We care deeply about how you feel. And it is hard for us to watch you go through the things you do because we understand the level of suffering that a human body carries. While we are not in it, it does not mean we cannot empathize with it, you know? And so we are simply trying to help you navigate everything that is difficult. It is in our benefit to do so, and yours. We are here to help you achieve your mission. That's why we're here. That's it. Of course, we want to help you, get you where you need to go. So find ways to communicate with us, but we encourage, when you are looking at trust and we are sending you signs that everything is going to be okay, that you are able to go, okay, how are you getting it to me? Not if. What can I do to assist the process? What can I do to anchor this vibration in more deeply? And that is when you are going to move forward by leaps and bounds with what you want to create. It's all about the questions you ask. And so, of course, you can ask us, can you do this for me? We suggest starting there. We really do. But the second question that we encourage you to ask after you received an answer, and however you receive answers, and again, this is where those sign and symbols can be really useful, you should then ask, what can I do What can I do to help secure this on my side? How will I recognize the work that you're doing so I can let go? And what can I do to help you be able to lay those pipes easier? Because we know things always work better when you're working as a team. But if you never asked the questions, you would never be able to communicate with us in the first place, and you would never know what work we're doing. And then you're going to be in that big pile of distrust and crying into your pillow thinking nothing is working out, even though we've already got it handled and we know exactly when it's going to land too, in a lot of the cases. And the more that you're open to that information from us, the more deeply we can share it with you. So this is what we wanted to share today, and we thank you for taking the time to hear us out on the question that you asked, because we think that this was a really important question to be able to share, because many people struggle with the answer to this.